In my quest to protect trans women, I have been told to kill myself, to never speak to a trans woman again, and to kill myself so that I never speak to a trans woman again. What do all these threats have in common? They want me out of the way, so trans women are in danger. Honestly, it makes me a little upset. I wish trans women weren't so scared and broken and shy. Of course they date each other. Who else will love them for who they are? Besides me, the solidarity between women that I was raised with just isn't something so many of them are given. T for T is like incest. It would probably happen if two sisters were stuck alone in an attic for 25 years. And it wouldn't be good or okay. But the victims deserve pity, not anger. And treatment, obviously. I was mocked. I was scorned. I was told indirectly in a quote tweet to K myself, even though I would never take any kind of drug. In trying to defend transgender, all I said was T for T is like incest. That's it. And now the 16-year-olds with strong opinions on boats are very upset with me. And the trolls are finally coming for me. But it's okay. Every troll who pillories and crucifies me and my good name is leaving a transgender girl alone. I would gladly die like Christ or like the Virgin Mary to protect our most vulnerable. Many good things about trans women, of course, but an underappreciated one is the way they always open doors for you. Like boys are supposed to. Boys get taught to, but don't. Girls would, but never get taught to. But by combining a woman's need to please everyone around her with a sharp jawline, a new, more beautiful kind of woman is born. Nothing as unfunny as a trans girl pretending to be cis, as sadly keeps happening. She says it's a funny joke, but it is a cry for help. For transphobia's attacks have broken her, so that she longs to be but a normal girl. Of course, it isn't funny. The worst jokes never are. Circumcision is good, actually, because it makes it harder for trans women to get the surgery. They should love their delicious bodies just the way they are, but not sexually. This is not about self-abuse. It's like docking a dog's tail. Makes her cuter and less likely to knock things over. Evelyn website, your compassion for America's greatest tragedy is unspeakably pure. But can I just say you may be trying to distract yourself from something? I'm sorry you were called he or they, and I hope one day you can cry for yourself, as you do for the towers.
Halamede, I appreciate your concern so much. I know how much you hate it when trans women knock over their personal towers through surgery.
It is my own personal 9/11. Trans women are like elves. Effeminate, tall, classically associated with illness and sexuality. Sensitive, both physically and to emotion. Fading from this world. Pointy, full of incredible sadness. Found in forests. Mystical. Considered by some demonic, furtive, long-haired. It's actually very difficult being the only free speech liberal left and having to defend all your weird pornography. Thanks for noticing. It would be less difficult if you stopped making it, but you didn't ask to be the way you are either, I guess. I'm hearing AI is defining things and concepts by distance from a man's phallus. Not very modern of them. Consider centralizing a woman's phallus instead. My distance from a woman's phallus? Well, ideally.
Halamede, will you ever hurt transgender? Sometimes I'm afraid that you will hurt us.
I would not. I would never. Even though many are constantly asking me to. for sex reasons. Like, really, so many at this point, at least 200. Something happened to her. Something she doesn't want to talk about, or does, but can't. She cannot hold unconditional love. I told her I would add conditions then. That she would have to keep breathing. That she would have to be who she was. That she would never get the surgery. But you give me money. If I started a Patreon or GoFundMe, if you would, please give that money to trans. They need it more. 30% of my stipend already goes towards procuring one trans. I wish I could support more, but birth control, Truvada, maintaining a balanced financial portfolio, therapy she doesn't even attend, and GPS ankle bracelets are expensive. It's mostly bonds and index funds, which she will have access to when she cares enough to ask if she can live with me. Overlooked, underpaid, vulnerable, and cast out, trans women really are the women of women.
Palamede, no one should chase this hard.
Are you saying there's a limit to how far one should go for trans? To what trans deserves? Well, there is. I'm not learning to play Magical Gathering. But anything else is fair game. TME, trans mask exclusionary? No. Trans butch women are so desirable. TME, trans misogyny exempt? No. Trans misogyny is everywhere, and it affects me deeply. For instance, misogynistic trans women hate me, a girl, for nothing more than being a girl and liking every thirst trap they have ever posted on their timeline. I wish people wouldn't say genital preference is transphobic. In fact, I have genital preferences that could be described as the very opposite of transphobic. The most painful words I've ever heard. It's not you, it's me. Oh, Luna. Of course it wasn't you. It was my fault. But you cared enough to spare me the blame. Even then. It was the cruelest thing you ever did to me. You could have been a little meaner in bed, honestly. I wouldn't have minded that much. I would have said I did, obviously, but we both know that's not how that goes. If you miraculously get a trans and you exchange pics and it leads to her sending you her location to come over, respond quickly after the location is sent. You need to let her know she is wanted. Do not miss this opportunity. T-girls, women who at some point or another have been exposed to testosterone, which, a little of that is like a little spice.
A few moments later.
To be clear, when I said in 2021, a little spice, I meant like pumpkin spice, gingerbread spice. A very small amount in the past, used precisely. I don't support her going off her pills that make her body so nice to touch. Unconditional love is a child's fantasy. How could any two people ever be bound together with no strings attached? All love is conditional. So what conditions did I fail? Why did you leave me? Not polyamorous, and do not like being mistaken for one, but I do play some of their board games. It's awful. The most beautiful girls imaginable with such bravery of spirit and heart, and she won't even spank me even a little bit. She doesn't understand, as she is a woman. Any wrong she committed can be forgiven with a simple apology. And I would certainly be willing to apologize. I would and have said sorry repeatedly.
Yo, Halimede, is this anything?
Yes, it is something. And what it is rude. I don't respect that trans are pretending to be a dog or cat on the computer. If you really were committed to being a dog or cat, you would not be on the computer. I will protect you! Yeah, I'm doing one take of that one. Personally, I think a lot of white transgender women would benefit from not basing their entire idea of femininity on the wrong anime girls. As a woman, you're supposed to be defined by your mother's failings.